What's good, YouTube? Flash Speaks back, and we live this time. Today, we're not even gonna front. This is gonna be the start of something that we think is gonna be very special, a nice addition to the NFL, to your NFL Sundays or Saturdays, and it's gonna be me, myself, along with guests covering the NFL. Starting with, of course, the hometown team, the Philadelphia Eagles. We're not even gonna front and act like it's something other than that. However, we will be giving our remarks about the whole NFL. But since this is the team that will be winning the Super Bowl this year, this will be our mainstay and starting focus, of course. I do have a guest coming on, which I will be bringing on shortly, who has a nice channel, longtime friend of mine, longtime Eagles fan, Solo M from Hungry Dog Sports. Nice young channel. If you're not subscribed to Hungry Dog Sports, the first thing you need to do after liking and subscribing here to us is to go over there, subscribe, watch some of his videos. Got some good content out. I just finished listening to a few videos myself. What we're going to talk about today is going to cover a lot of ground, so be ready. It's going to take a little bit long. It's going to be a little longer than my normal videos. You see, when we talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, we got to acknowledge the fact that they are a team that nationally people don't quite know what to make out of them. What's going to happen with the Philadelphia Eagles is a number of question marks that many people have, from the sports writers to the content creators to the people who are on the big networks, Fox, whether it's FS1, whether it's ESPN. Many people believe and acknowledge that the Philadelphia Eagles have one of the most talented rosters in the league. However, they had a talented roster last year. But something happened towards the end of the year that's this mysterious dark cloud is hanging over the team and over the franchise. So there are a number of questions. And I'm going to take you down a quick trip down memory lane, and we're going to bring on our guests, and we're going to deal with it. 2 years ago, the Philadelphia Eagles were what? Entering the 2022 season, the second year for the young starter, Jalen Hurts, who had just finished taking the Eagles to the playoffs the previous year, but realizing that we didn't have enough in that Tampa Bay loss that we took down there in Tampa Bay 2 years ago. Going into the 2022 season, there were a number of questions about Jalen Hurts. Is he the guy that the Philadelphia Eagles need to be the franchise guy moving forward? Does the owner, does the general manager believe he has the talent? So should the Eagles take the two number one picks they had? These were questions. And should we just go get Deshaun Watson? What about Russell Wilson? There were questions about Russell Wilson at this time in Denver, leaving Seattle prior to going to Denver. There's a number of Philly Eagle fans who believe that Howie Roseman was a big fan of Russell Wilson and wanted Russell Wilson in. So these were the questions. Jalen Hurts going through all this adversity. I was one of the few people who believed his 2021 season was very good, getting to the playoffs your first time. I like that. Some, though, however, weren't as impressed. They believe that he doesn't have, the talent and all of those different types of things. So these were the questions. Lo and behold, 2022 season, the Philadelphia Eagles rip off a 14-3 season with Jalen Hurts being an MVP runner-up, first team All-Pro, or second team All-Pro rather, getting to the Super Bowl and putting on one of the best performances we've ever seen from a quarterback in the Super Bowl. Though it came at a loss. Many questions surrounding the loss. Was it because Jalen Hurts had just fumbled in that second quarter? Or was it because of the defense? Or was it because they were just outcoached by Andy Reid? A younger team didn't have as much experience as the Chiefs. All of these things were the questions. So lo and behold, next year, the Eagles coming in with a lot of expectations. Go 10-1. Jalen Hurts again, MVP conversations. Next thing you know, there's a drop-off. And then now we are where we are. So we're going to discuss today, all of those different things along with more. So we're going to bring on my man right here. And I'm to the stage. Solo M, what's good, bro? What you got?
Mic check, mic check.
Yeah, we hear you,
Can you
man.
hear me?
Yeah, you good, man. You sound better than me. You know what I
So
mean?
Solo M live and direct.
That's for sure.
First of all, I want to thank you for bringing me on.
Oh yeah.
Um, this gonna be the start of a beautiful thing.
Mm.
I want to let the audience know that we agree on a lot of stuff when it comes to the Eagles, but we disagree when it comes to a lot of stuff. So a lot of you gonna witness for the last 20 years how I've been tearing him up in debates as far as
Duh.
Eagles and Sixers.
Duh.
So this is gonna be it. This is gonna be live. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Let y'all be the judge of that.
Yeah.
So what you think the first topic we can talk about?
Oh no, we all good, man. Just tell us a little something about your channel, man, and what you trying to build right here. You know what I mean?
My channel, Hungry Dog Sports, is a spinoff from Jason Kelsey, historical speech he
Mm,
did when we won the Super Bowl. You know, hungry
mm,
dogs running faster.
mm,
So I wanted to be a channel to represent the opposite of what the media does, because I don't think the media is genuine nowadays. A
mm.
lot of things is based on narratives and personal views. It's not based on an unbiased review. So Hungry Dog Sports is going to be an unbiased review. Even if I dislike the things the Eagles do, I still got to speak out on it. You know, and I'm definitely going to be coming at the media like Spike Eskin and Elliott Shore Parks and things like that. You
Oh
know.
man, I don't even know if people know who they are, man. But this is gonna be our first thing, bro. From your perspective, what went wrong last season? We just want to get that out the way before we start talking about what's really going on with the Eagles and the roster and all that kind of stuff. What happened last season, bro? How in the world did the Eagles not end up back in the Super Bowl?
All right, this is my point of view from last season. Most people say that when you lose a Super Bowl, you usually have a Super Bowl hangover. And that season after that is usually tough. And historically, that is correct. If you look at most people who lost the Super Bowl, it's extremely difficult for them to even have a good season, let alone get back to the Super Bowl. But I think the talent that we had was enough to win games, but we was doing it on a level where every game was tough because everybody was giving us their best shot. And we had subpar coaching. So all of these things coming together amount to a 10-1, but it was like we was more like 8-8 and like 2-8. That's how it felt, even though we was 10-1. So when we beat Buffalo, right, that was like a 4-game stretch where we eked out every game. Then we ran into San Francisco, who was the buzzsaw. They was waiting for us. They waited all year for that one particular game, and we did not go in that game with that same enthusiasm. We
All right,
just thought,
so when somebody tells you though, bro, like I hear what you're saying, but like
yeah,
San Francisco, bro, you're making excuses right now. You're making a whole bunch of excuses right now. What really happened is y'all really ain't like that. Y'all had an easy schedule that first year, so that's why y'all was able to do all that. Like, but when you ran into a real team and Brock Purdy ain't get hurt, you know what I'm saying? Because we know y'all done lost to them and Brock Purdy got hurt. That's what happened. I just want to know what do you say to those people that's out there
okay.
with that shit?
If a person know anything about football, right? Number one, football is all about the ebb and flows of the season. That's number one. Ups and downs, ups and downs. Number two,
Did I lose you? I don't know. We might have lost brother real quick.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have the. Oh, I don't know what happened just now. You have to have the emotion to play up to the competition. If you don't, you're going to lose very badly. And San Francisco wanted our ass all year. They spoke about it. We didn't want them as bad as they wanted us. That's the problem. So when we went into the game, we act like it was just another game, and we
Mm.
couldn't match the emotion. That was from the tip off when they ran through our drills, and we didn't do anything about it. That's when I knew, all right, this is something different, something going on.
Mm.
So I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying we wasn't up for that game like they was up for us. That was one of the main reasons why we lost. And we just came off so many emotional wins. The reality set in. You're going to lose sometimes in the ebb and flows of the season.
All right. All right. So why? What went wrong though? Like you telling me it's just a Super Bowl hangover? That's it. Well, this is what I want to add, and I want to know what you got to say about that. Well, the year that the Philadelphia Eagles had went to the Super Bowl, we had who? We had Shane Steichen as offensive.
Yeah.
We had Jonathan Gannon as defensive coordinator. The Philadelphia Eagles under Jonathan Gannon had a defense that was actually ranked top five. Had they were second against the pass, right? Against the run, I don't have numbers in front of me, but we're like middling against the run. Actually, weren't that bad because we had Linval Joseph and we had Ndamukong Suh and those type of players we brought in once. Jordan Davis had went down on his rookie year. So then on the offense, what do you think? Shane, you think Nick Sirianni is as good as Shane Steichen or what?
Um, the offense, I believe, was elementary, and it didn't add anything from last season.
So
I
you
think
mean
that was the main
from
issue,
last year,
and
right?
yeah,
I see.
and a lot of our teams caught up to what we were doing.
Mm.
You know,
See,
because this is what I believe.
go
I
ahead.
believe Nick Sirianni he wasn't offensively minded to add on. So he thought he can take the offense they had last year with Shane Steichen was doing and try to take that same offense and do it himself instead of just adding things onto it. And I think that the fact that he's not really good at that, and we had a new offensive coordinator, they was hamstrung. As far as offensively, they didn't know what they were doing. And I think that frustrated Jalen Hurts and the team. That's why they was going to AWOL later on in the season.
So you're going AWOL in the little season, okay?
Well, later on, after things was getting snowballing out of control.
Now this is what I'm gonna say about the Eagles. This is what I firmly believe. Back in 2016, when the Philadelphia Eagles had drafted Carson Wentz, I'm going way back. I think the whole problems that's going on right now have a lot to do with all of this. Drafted Carson Wentz back in 2016. The Eagles had a particular direction they were going to go. You just hired Doug Peterson. This was right after the Chip Kelly situation, which was a complete debacle. Got Chip Kelly the heck up out of here. Now, when you bring on Doug Peterson, part of why they got Doug Peterson was he was a guy not only that was trained under Andy Reid when he was here, because he was actually, for a lot of those who don't know, he was the stand-in quarterback or the quarterback, the lame duck quarterback there during the Donovan McNabb era. Was actually Doug Peterson. So he always had like a connection here. Doug Peterson not
Mhm.
only was tutored under Andy Reid, but he also had the type of the temperament that they were looking for in a coach that would allow the general manager and the owner to kind of put the team together and actually pick some of his assistants and all of these different things. They came up with this whole new paradigm of how they were going to put the team together. So Doug Peterson was kind of part of that. Now, what happened with Doug during Doug Peterson's reign was the Philadelphia Eagles had him kind of running his offense with Carson Wentz, right? But somewhere deep down in Howie Roseman and in Jeffrey Lurie, they still were affected by some of what Chip Kelly did. They still had this belief and they liked what he did. And this is what I'm getting to here. So Carson Wentz has his rookie season under Doug Peterson. All right, boom. His first year, rookie year. His second year, Carson Wentz in 2017 goes on a historic quarterback run. You know, he's on an MVP piece. He goes down with an injury. In come Nick Foles. Nick Foles, who was actually here during the Chip Kelly reign, comes in. And what Doug Peterson does is knowing that Nick Foles wasn't good at running Carson Wentz's offense, he actually humbled himself and asked Nick Foles, all right, what do you feel comfortable with? What type of offense you want to run? And this is when they started implementing the RPOs. Philadelphia Eagles going to win the Super Bowl with the RPO-based offense. And I believe, personally, that the ownership fell in love with the RPO. I believe when Carson Wentz came back and refused to run the RPO offense, the Eagles were like, okay, they were still dedicated to Wentz because they gave him the contract because of what he did in 2017. But in the back of their minds, they wanted to go search for the best RPO running quarterback, the best RPO offensive quarterback they can find. And I believe this is when they went on a search. And he probably talked to Lincoln Riley, and Lincoln Riley explained to them how Jalen Hurts runs that RPO offense. He actually said Jalen Hurts runs it better than Baker and better than Kyler did when they were at Oklahoma. So I believe that's when the Eagles started eyeing Jalen Hurts. Then when the whole thing fell with Wentz or whatever, because it just all fell apart. I don't know if the Eagles started to not like him anyway. I don't know what was going on. I don't waste too much time on that. But Wentz came back, whatever, he falls out of favor. Jeffrey Lurie, that last year Wentz was here, they trying to pretty much, he wants Hurts in the starting lineup. We hearing stories about he going to the practices pissed off at Wentz and all this kind of stuff. So Hurts finally comes in. And then what happens is, I think they fell in love with that offense, which was a gimmicky offense that doesn't stand the test of time. And what happened is teams, after they have years of film on you, they start to defend it better. And then the worst thing that happened to us last year, we faced a mastermind the first week in Bill Belichick, who I believe kind of exposed the whole job. That's what I think. We were able to win that game, but I really believe he did that because you saw we struggled with Belichick in week 1. We struggled with Flores, a Bill Belichick disciple, in week 2. And then pretty much all year, we even dealt with Todd Bowles early in the year, but we were able to beat him. But it wasn't as easy as it should have been. And we kind of chugged through last year because of the overwhelmingly amount of talent that the Eagles have. However, I agree with you in that eventually, the Super Bowl hangover, because you even hearing some of the statements that came from some Eagle players who were saying things like, just couldn't get over the fact they didn't win the Super Bowl. Something like that, right? I should have a quote in front of me. Forgive me, y'all, for that. But I do agree that ultimately it was a Super Bowl hangover that happened unconventionally. It happened at the end of the year as opposed to the beginning of the year. And then once it did happen or started, you didn't have the leadership, which I'm putting mainly on the coach here, that was able to stop the bleeding. That's just what I believe. And it all just came down as a crazy train wreck. Do you have anything else to add on that particular topic?
Well, I agree with a lot of that. I definitely agree with a lot of that. But I still believe that the offense could have, advanced if we had a better head coach who could have, adapted and added more stuff to it.
Which brings us to our next thing. Who do you put more of it on? Nick Sirianni or Jalen Hurts for last year? And then after that, we're gonna move on to this year because I don't want to keep.
All right, let's break it down like this. If you had like a pie, you had to slice it into what direction. I blame 50% of the reason why we wasn't successful last year was the defense. A lot of our defensive players had horrible years, like Bradbury, and it went downhill from there. And I think the offense had to play catch up a lot of the games in order to compensate for bad defense. So I think if the defense was better, we could have fixed a lot of our woes. But due to the fact they were horrible, Jalen Hurts couldn't fix that Band-Aid by the time we got to the end of the year. He just couldn't do that because A.J. Brown went down, and it was just downhill from there.
Right.
So I believe Jalen Hurts is on the field. So I believe that he's large responsible for the problems because he should be enough to go to the coach and say, listen, this is what I want to do. Well, maybe he don't have that cachet right now, but I think he needs to get that, develop that. And I think the coach is the last part of the problem.
So you think the coach has less responsibility or blame than Hurts?
As far as what went on the field, see, I judge Hurts about what he did on the field. Put it like this: I want the coach going. So ultimately, I want him going as I want a better head coach. But until we get a better head coach, then I got to put a lot of responsibility on Hurts because he is a football son of a football coach. So he should know. The coach, I don't have. He just don't have the brain power for me to get it done. So I can't put the responsibility on him if I want us to succeed. I need Hurst to step up and be the man.
I guess I kind of understand that, but who puts together the game plan? Who decides the offense? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
what a coach does
cause
that.
like, cause what do you say about what happened this year as far as like, the coach just took over the game plan from Brian Johnson, who was the offensive coordinator. Like Nick Sirianni said, no, it's really my offense. You know, because you got reports coming out, and Ramona was it Ramona Shelburne or one of them
Yeah,
who said that that was all Nick Sirianni's offense last year, and that Jalen Hurts really or Brian Johnson really didn't have any input, and that he and Brian Johnson actually wanted to implement some new things, but nobody was actually you know, and Nick Sirianni was like, no, I got it. You know what I mean? You know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
so
Well,
for
see,
me, I put it like this. I agree with you when it comes to the defense. I think the defense might have been 70% of the problem, to be honest with you. Because if you're not stopping anybody, the amount of daggone pressure you putting on that offense to have to score 30, 35 to 40 damn points every single game is ridiculous. Like, I'm remembering times, man, where the offense is scoring. The defense would be doing good at the beginning of the game. And then as soon as we get a lead, all of a sudden now the defense is just they just stop scoring. They just stop stopping players. They start playing off and all of these different things. And then this leads to comebacks from the other team. And it keeps putting the offense in situations where Jalen Hurts got to be a hero every damn week in order to win. It's just crazy. I mean, last year was just crazy when it comes to that. So for me, and because Nick Sirianni decided to take all the damn blame, because Nick Sirianni decided he was going to be the guy and override all of his damn coordinators and stuff like that. For me, there's no doubt about it. All I can do is blame Nick Sirianni for what happened, you know, for the most part. You know, he's a guy that in 2022 or 2021, matter of fact, the Philadelphia Eagles had given Nick Sirianni the reign.
you hear me?
Yeah,
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 I'm
yeah.
back. Yeah, I got to my phone go out after like 5 minutes. That's what happens. So I gotta check that.
That's cool. But I was just saying, basically, like, you know, we saw Nick Sirianni when he had control of the offense twice already. You know, in 2021, the first we were what 2-6 when this dude was controlling the offense. Remember, this dude didn't run Miles Sanders like in that Dallas game until the second
Yeah,
quarter, not one
yeah,
damn running play. So we know what a Nick Sirianni offense looked like. It looked like shit all the time. So then last year, that offense. So when I heard Ramona Shelburne say it was Nick Sirianni, that was easy for me to believe because I hadn't seen what his offense looked like. This dude is just absolute trash, man.
well, the
All right,
best part about this year is that his hands is off on the defense and offense,
exactly,
and they stripped him of any responsibility for those two, and that's how I want it.
exactly,
That's exactly how I want it. If you're not going to fire him, then take any responsibility for making decisions for his offense and defense from him.
exactly. All right, so our next thing I want to talk about really the offense this year compared to you know last year's offense. So we got first thing first. Let's look at this here, the backfield. You know, it was the same quarterback as Jalen Hurts. Now, the difference is the backup quarterbacks. Last year, we had Marcus Mariota. This year, we're coming out there with Kenny Pickett. Do you think that's an upgrade or downgrade? Do you think it doesn't make any difference or what?
All right, as far as Kenny Pickett, I think he's a downgrade for Mariota because Mariota at least can run and get out of the situation that he's in. I haven't seen anything from any one of them as far as quarterbacking. Maybe I need to see him with the first string offer, but he just looked terrible in preseason. Absolutely horrible. And Mariota at least can run, and I give him that, but he was terrible too. Their ability to pick a backup quarterback is just downright disturbable. And hopefully they get better in the future.
Well, I think Kenny Pickett will be fine. He actually can run. Maybe not like Mariota, but he actually can run. That was one of the things that was good about him coming out of Pitt. And I think you put him with AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and if Hurts goes down again, we got to win one game. I think Kenny Pickett can. I think he can do it. You can put together a game plan, whether you're running a little bit more or whatever it is, in order to be okay. And then the third quarterback, of course, is Tanner McKee. All right, so now our running back. Last year, our backfield was DeAndre Swift, Kenny Gainwell, Rashad Penny. Remember him? And Boston Scott.
Yeah.
And Boston Scott, Rashad Penny. And now our backcourt is now Saquon Barkley, Kenneth Gainwell, Will Shipley. So is that an upgrade or a downgrade?
Oh, definitely upgrade.
Definitely an upgrade.
It's definitely an upgrade. Now, I definitely did not want to lose the Giants killer. I definitely didn't want to lose him. But Will Shipley kind of showed me some things in preseason. Hopefully, he's a young, hungry guy. As we know, I'm really not feeling Kenny Gainwell since day one. I really haven't. Now, he's okay, but I'm glad that we got Barkley. Put it like that. He's definitely upgrade over Swift.
To me, Saquon Barkley right now gives us the second or third best running back, definitely in the conference, if not in the league. If people want to say Christian McCaffrey is number one, I think Saquon Barkley behind this offensive line that we're going to talk about in a minute, is an absolute upgrade. I just don't see how you stop this running game. Kenneth Gainwell is my second back, is fine with me. I mean, he can catch the ball out the backfield. He's not horrible picking up blitzes. And, he can run the ball a little bit. He's had some little moments here and there. And then Will Shipley, though, might take his spot. I don't know. Will Shipley, the young boy from Clemson, he might be the one to take his spot. So we'll see how that goes. I think all that stuff will just play itself out. All right. Now,
I think one of the reasons why this is a major upgrade, because the Eagles used to break their backs into threes. They had a first down back, they had a catching back, and they had a third down back. Barkley is all of those into one. So you don't know which one he's going to do. That's why it's a major upgrade because of that. Because they didn't trust Swift with the catching the ball or the third downs. So that's why I think it's a major upgrade.
He's a complete back. And
yeah.
I think you were saying before, you hope he's used more so, and we use the tush push less. Yeah, I kind of agree with that too. Now, I'm saying once we get to the playoffs, you can tush push all you want. But during the regular season, I believe one of the reasons Hurts was a little injured was because of that damn tush push. But we'll never know, I guess. All right, so now 2023 receiving core. A.J. Brown, Britton Covey, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, and Olamide Zaccheaus. And now it's A.J. Brown, Britton Covey, Jahan Dotson, Devontae Smith, and Johnny Wilson. Upgrade or downgrade?
Major upgrade. Why? Because we have, if one of our number ones go down, Jahan Dotson is number one overall pick, and he always been a number two. So I think he can fill that slot in. And if AJ go down, Devontae Smith can be the number one, Jahan can be the number two, and Wilson can be the number three. So it's a major upgrade because you got depth.
Right. We've been following Jahan Dotson since his days at Penn State. You know what I mean? We know the boy's a baller, so we were happy to get him here. And to be the third receiver, you can't beat that, because he's also a guy that, God forbid, AJ or Devontae go down, he can kind of step right in and do that. So without a doubt, that's the best possible guy that of the people available that we could pick up to take that slot spot. Britton Covey, I don't know how they're going to use him. I don't know about that one. Johnny Wilson, I like. He's a tall receiver, right?
Yeah, it's like 6'8", 6'7".
All right. So now basically at tight end, we got Dallas Goedert and Grant Calcaterra. It's pretty much similar to last year. Just last year, you had Jack Stoll also. So it's Dallas Goedert, and I'm sure we both like Dallas Goedert. All right, now the offensive line is interesting, okay, because you got a few new pieces here. We got last year Landon Dickerson, Jack Driscoll, Fred Johnson, Lane Johnson. What are they doing? The starters was Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Jason Kelsey, Cam Jurgens was at that
Right
that
guard.
guard, yeah, the right guard
Yeah.
next to Lane
Lane.
Johnson. So now is we got Mekhi Becton over there with Landon Dickerson, right? And oh no, it's going to be Mailata with Dickerson, and then we got Jurgens in the middle, and then Mekhi Becton is over there next to Lane. So what do you think this offensive line? How will it shape up to last year's offensive line, in your opinion?
The crazy part is, you may think I'm crazy, but I think it's going to be better than it was last year, even with a Hall of Famer gone, because Kelsey admitted that he wasn't the same player this year because he was kind of hurt a lot. So he didn't play his best football game. This is something he said out of his own mouth. So the fact that we got a young, dry, offensive line at center, and we got a giant with Mekhi Beckham at next to Lane, I think it's going to be better, especially the running game.
Well, I can't put no guarantees out there, but I ain't mad at what you got to say there. But I gotta this Mekhi Becton. I know he has a good pedigree. He's coming from a situation where he was expected to thrive. For whatever reason, it didn't work out with the Jets. I think he was injured a lot, but I gotta kind of see him play before I say, he's a good fit. But I don't mind trying him. I see his size and his athleticism and his potential, and I know about Jeff Stoutland. That's for those who don't know, that's the Philadelphia Eagles offensive lineman coach. I can just only imagine, right? What he would do with a beast like that. If you look at what he did with um, Jordan Mailata, who wasn't even a football player for most of his life. You know what I mean? He literally was just a rugby player that went in the seventh round, and Stout got him as really one of the better uh, tackles in the league. That's crazy. Lane gonna be Lane. Landing gonna be landing. You know, you got the question is Cam Jurgens. I think Cam's gonna be all right. Here's why. I know Jason Kelsey is one of our favorite legends all time. Won't always be my favorite center, I'm pretty sure. But um, Cam is bigger. Cam is just as athletic, just as fast. He can get to that second row. He's the guy that Jason Kelsey kind of handpicked for the organization. He kind of helped handpick this guy to be his replacement, and he's been groomed for like the last 2 years or 2 years. Yeah, his first year, I think he was just on the bench a lot as a backup center. Last year, they put him in at tackles, and this is his third year. So he already has experience out there, so I feel really good about Cam. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a better line just because it'll be bigger and younger. I ain't making no declarations right now. We gonna see.
According to Pro Football Focus, we got the biggest offensive line in the league on the average for 336 per player. So that's crazy.
So the Eagles had the biggest line. Now defense. Defense is where it's gonna get crazy now. So we got here. Now that ain't what I wanted. Are you serious, man? All right, but a defense, okay. So we got the biggest difference right now, I would say, on that defensive line, the loss of Hassan Reddick. You got to talk me off the ledge about this one, bro. Of all, I love our offseason, and I pretty much am on part and agree with damn near everything we did in the offseason, with the exception of letting Hassan Reddick go the way we did. Somebody got to break this down to me how this is going to be a better situation.
I think overall, why it's going to be a better situation, because instead of the guy last year, you got Vic Fangio. You got 30 years of experience at defensive coordinator who knows how to play good and bad quarterbacks, who knows how to adjust in the game plan. I think that's why it's going to be better.
Mm.
Because think about it. Bill Belichick never had great players at New England all the time, but every year he got great defense because he is a genius at defense. Now, I'm not saying Vic Fangio is on Bill Belichick level. I'm saying experience counts. That means something. So I trust in him to get it done. Even this preseason, our defense looked infinitively better than it was last season. So I trust in Vic Fangio, so I think it's going to be better. Even if it's middle of the pack, 15th instead of 30th, that's an improvement.
That's what I wanted to get into, Vic Fangio. All right. Um, Listen, I was not a big fan of this when I first heard about it. Why? Because when we last saw the Eagles defense, we saw the worst defense I've ever seen in my life. And I mean it. It's not even a close second. Last season, that Tampa Bay game, the Giant game before that, and that last stretch, 6 games, was the worst defense I ever seen in all of my years of watching football. So when we picked up Vic Fangio, I just saw Vic Fangio as the guy who was the mastermind behind what Jonathan Gannon and Sean Desai was running. So my initial thought was, no, bro, the Eagles not learning. They just doing the same shit that they've been doing, right? That was my first thought. I'm not even going to hold you. But then I started researching Fangio a little bit, trying to find out something about his scheme. Why is his scheme taking on so much in the NFL, right? But I always was still a little bothered by the fact that he wasn't what people thought he would be in Miami last year. So I was a little concerned about that. And then you got Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard, all these guys. Why weren't their defense what you thought? I don't know. I can't answer that. I will not answer that. But when Vic Fangio kind of showed me, I'm not even gonna hold you. And I'm not usually the dude that goes for this bullshit. But his press conference, I'm not even gonna hold you. I don't usually fall for the press conferences and the coaches at the press. But I'm not gonna lie. Vic Fangio was saying all the right shit. Vic Fangio was saying all the right stuff. I'm not even gonna hold you. Just his whole vibe was, he just reminded me of one of them South Philly Italian sausage eating boys that just put the cheese whiz on their cheesesteaks, and they just remind me of them dudes. And I don't know why. I think that just reminds, there's something football about that. There's something Philly about that. Then he's talking about Packer Avenue and all that, and I don't usually fall for that. But then what really got me was when I heard players like Darius Slay talking about his approach and all of that, and how, bro, he was running the practices like General Patton. You know what I mean? He out there just telling people what they need to be told. He out there on their backs. He coaching like old school style. Eagles were training harder than they've been training the last couple of seasons. That kind of sold me on them. And then I know an older guy, most older coaches that we've had worked out well. It's those young guys, man, that don't always work well. I think he has these guys disciplined. I think these guys actually have a healthy fear for him, and they do like him. I think he's honest. You know what I mean? Like, he'll tell you straight up, yeah, that Bryce Huff, that he wasn't looking too good. He'll tell you straight up. He'll tell you he just real. And I like that. And I like the fact that he's going to have complete control over his defense. There will be no interjections from Nick Sirianni. There will be no interjections from Howie Roseman. It will just be Vic Fangio in charge of Vic Fangio's area. And that's definitely the way that I think the Eagles need to go.
Listen, this is my philosophy when it comes to defense. If you look at the history of the NFL, you will see your defensive players take on the personality of the defensive coach. So you got to have a hard-nosed defensive coach like Todd Bowles, like Vic Fangio, like Bill Belichick. They got to be no nonsense type of guys, and they protrude that to their players on the field. Now, offensively, I like little nerdy dudes like John Gruden and Vic. What's his name? Sean. What's the guy in the Rams? Like little nerdy dudes like that.
McVay.
Yeah, McVay, who people think is like this wonder boy. I like them type of offensive players. You feel what I'm saying? But I like Vic Fangio because he's not tolerating no nonsense. If you screw up, he's going to tell you. Sean Desai, he just didn't breathe confidence. He just, you look at him, his demeanor, everything, and Jonathan Gannon, they all soft. They all soft. They don't have that same confidence.
Didn't he tell them he's gonna cut their heart out and all this kind of stuff?
Yeah, he talked a good game. He says wonderful, but look what look at the defense though. Look what he actually done on the
Well, I
field.
don't think John DeGannon's soft, dog. It's like, nah, I'm joking.
I definitely think that.
All right, so everybody in the comment section, we will be dealing with your questions and comments in a second. We just want to talk a little bit about, give our thoughts on the Eagles a little bit, but we will get to your questions and comments for sure. So yeah, Vic kind of sold me on that, man. I ain't gonna hold you. I think it's gonna be a much better defense, and then we got to talk about the differences on the defense. We're going to start in the back. My favorite area to talk about. We're going to talk about that secondary. Talk to me about that secondary.
Number one, I'm gonna let the audience know I never liked Blankenship. Period. From day one,
Why?
because Blankenship just not physical enough. He's not good enough. Like I watched him all last season get destroyed with bombs, getting destroyed at the point of attack. I need aggressive safeties. You know what I mean? Like Sidney Brown, I think he's an aggressive safety. He was a difference maker when he put him in the game. It's just a shame he got hurt. You feel what I'm saying? But he's a difference maker. He was better than Blankenship. Yet they kept starting Blankenship. I didn't understand that. And Bradbury, he had maybe the worst year since Toast. Isaiah, what's his name?
Isaiah Jenkins.
Isaiah Jenkins Toast.
Way back to the 80s and 90s.
Yes, he had a year like that. After he had an All-Pro year. So those two reasons why the defense was bad. Those two, right? But we're not even get to the rest of the people.
All right, listen. This is my first thing. After the 2022 season, we were in that Super Bowl. We thought we had like a top 5 secondary in the league, which is crazy. We had 2 corners. We had Bradbury and Slay. Handled their business. Both of them finished in the top of not allowing their opponents, receivers, to complete balls on them. So what kind of happened? What happened, in my opinion, was I at first identified during that 2022 season that the best player in that whole back 7 was C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I've been recognized that early on in that season. And then when he went down with that injury against the Packers, I was like, oh, man. I was concerned about that. Now, Blankenship came in, got that interception on Aaron Rodgers, and became a hero in the minds of many Eagles fans because they just remember that moment. But since then, he kind of been getting barbecued. But they're letting C.J. Gardner-Johnson go, I think, affected not only the actual talent and play on the field, but also just the mindset of those guys back there. And then Marcus Epps, like a lot of people shit on Marcus Epps because he got beat by Kelsey in the Super Bowl. But Marcus Epps was a dog. Marcus Epps was not a dude that's going to let you break tackles like we saw in that Tampa Bay game last year. Marcus Epps, no, he's going to take somebody's head off, even if he get his own head taken off in the process. Marcus Epps was one of them. He reminds me of Ryan Clark. I don't know, a lot of y'all see Ryan Clark from ESPN, a lot of you young boys. Y'all remember Ryan Clark when he played. Ryan Clark, the same dude on ESPN, the Pivot Podcast, that dude was a maniac. Like, when he played the Pittsburgh Steelers back then, a lot of people like bigged up the dude with the wild hair that the Steelers had. I can't believe I'm forgetting his damn name. The boy with the wild hair. Yeah. But the guys people feared was Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark was crazy. Like, he would take your whole head off. You know what I mean? But that's what Marcus Epps was. Marcus Epps was like a little insane. So you get rid of C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who was the best playmaker in the whole back 7. And then you let Marcus Epps, who was the maniac, just go. So your whole secondary was just the whole spirit of the secondary. You got Slay there, who's still talented, but he's older and he ain't really trying to get no real smoke. Slay ain't really trying to break a leg, do none of those types of things that it might take to get to that next level. Slay, even on his podcast, was talking about making uh business decisions and all that. So, and then you got Bradbury. I don't know what happened to Bradbury. Honestly, I think that Super Bowl just just messed him up. I really believe that. I believe that when he got that holding call, he felt the whole weight of the Super Bowl on his back. Like he lost it for the Eagles. I think I believe that carried over into next season because there's no way anybody can be that bad as Bradbury was last year. Bradbury's the worst cornerback I ever seen in my life last year. And I know that wasn't him his whole career. He just fell off a cliff like out of nowhere. So I think that's what happened, with the secondary. However, this year, I can't wait to see these boys that we picked up, man. I can't wait to see these boys that we picked up. It looks like Hungry Dog Sports. He dropped out. He'll be right back in a second. I cannot wait to see um Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Caitlin Clark's little buddy. I can't wait to see um who else is back there. Yeah, Isaiah Rogers. I can't wait to see how they play. Okili Ringo. Come on, man. And we got CJ Gardner Johnson. And we got CJ Gardner Johnson back. Come on, man.
Yes.
The
Yes.
secondary boy, you talking about, you got CJ Gardner Johnson back. Now I have a question mark on who's going to play at safety. I think that's Sidney Brown's job whenever he's ready, whenever that will be. But right now, me personally, I want to see Avonte Maddox do that if Sidney Brown is not there. I don't want to see Blankenship. Like, I don't have a problem with Blankenship being on the team. I would use him in more nickel and dime packages and more run stopping situations. I don't really like him against the pass. So I would like to see a start out with Maddox. Have they released the starters yet? What the starting lineup is going to be yet? I don't know. But
I'm not sure. I
on
got to
Friday
check.
night, okay. Yeah, what I want to see is Maddox and CJ back, Gardner Johnson back there. The corners I want to see right now is, I don't want to see Slay, but I know it's going to be Slay, which I'm cool with. I want to see Ringo on the other side, and I want to see Quinyon Mitchell in the slot. But what they're probably going to do is have Isaiah Rodgers and Slay until Rodgers gets cooked, and then they're going to make the changes. That's what I want to see right now because I think Quinyon Mitchell is going to be the difference maker. Like, he's a dude that can play man. He can play zone. He can bump and run. He can travel. And they're training him right now to be able to travel because he's right now able to play on the right side, left side, and he can play in the slot. Like, the only corners I respect for real, those that can go in the slot and play, right? Deion Sanders, Charles Woodson, Mike Haynes, the GOAT, guys like that, I like to see in the slot. So I think just because of the secondary, the defense is going to be that much better, and I think it'll actually give us a better pass rush than we had last year. It won't be a pass rush like 2022. I don't think we'll ever see a pass rush like that again. That was something different, like the 70 damn near sacks or whatever we got. Whereas I think this year that we're going to get a lot of coverage sacks. I think there's going to be situations where guys are just not open. My concern, though, however, is against the run. I think it'll be better, but I can't really make the crazy argument for it. But that's what I got on the secondary. You're gonna have, and then Cooper DeJean, once he's ready to go, I guess ultimately before the year is out, damn, where would he be? Is he gonna be outside or inside? Caitlin Clark's little buddy. That's where he'd be at.
We got so much talent on defense. It makes no sense. And they all young. All 22s and 23-year-old. Yeah, we got talent. Except Slate and Bradbury, we got young talent.
Exactly. So what you think? What you think about them linebackers?
I haven't really seen them in preseason, but I think Devin White is a definite upgrade. Zach Bond, I heard good and bad reviews on him. I'm not really sure. I would rather put Kobe Dean in that position, but whatever. But the Kobe Dean is the middle linebacker, so I understand why they doing that. But I want all my best players on the field at the same time. Just be playing the 3-4. You feel what I'm saying? So Zach Bond, whatever. I give him a chance until he proves that he can't do it. But I think that Devin White is a definite upgrade. Zach Bond, I don't know. He was a backup player last year, so I can't give a grade on him just right now.
What's getting me is the way people are talking about Devin White like he has to prove something. Nigga, that's Devin White. That's Devin White. When they look into what happened, he actually talked about it on the pivot. He was injured last year, really, just playing through an injury. People really don't consider those types of things when they talk about a football player. They just immediately go to just what he's like 26, 27, like he just fell off, can't play ball anymore. I think Devin White's going to be a beast, personally. And then you got a dude like the Vic Fangio who only going to use you for your strength, and he knows that Devin White is a great blitzer. Yo, they better look out for Devin White coming through that middle. They better look out for that. That's what I know. Cause like I think Devin White gonna be the biggest bounce back in the league. Cause people acting like this all pro all of a sudden, just trash. I can't wait till they see him. And then when we talk about Zach Vaughn, I don't know. I'm going with what Fangio thinks. I get it, because he's like more the 6'4", very long type. Maybe he has an ability to stick tight ends. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And that will be very important if that's a skill set of his. If that's a skill set of his, I can see why he would be over in Kobe or something like that in their mind. If he's not able to stick tight ends or whatever, running backs coming out that backfield, then yeah, sit his ass down. That's all I got to say about that one right there. And put in, who is at least going to be great against the run or whatever. So I'm a little wait and see mode about Vaughn and that other linebacker. And it looks like they're probably going to go with two linebackers for the most part, and 4 or 5 man fronts, or maybe they throw an extra secondary guy in there. That's the way they play these days. You rarely see 3 linebackers, so it'll probably just be, Vaughn and Devin White to start the year. But I'm looking forward to see what happens with Trotter Jr. for sure, and Nakobe Dean. But they say Nakobe Dean been playing so crazy in practice, and then also, we saw him in the preseason that it may not be able to keep him off the field. So my guess is maybe in certain packages, he'll probably use them all interchangeably depending on the packages. That's my guess.
And Nakobe Dean, one of his strong points is blitzing, and he loves to blitz. That's what Vic Fangio said. He gonna do your best attribute.
Right.
I mean, Nakobe Dean and Devin White, they're 2 of my best blitzers. So can you imagine them on the field at the same time? Like, man, that's
Right.
a lot of athleticism right there. You know what I mean?
Right. All right. So now when we talk about like Kellen Moore and the Eagles offense, we're just gonna talk about the offense. What you expecting from Kellen Moore first, and then the Eagles offense?
One thing that we wanted last year was movement. I mean, movement on the receiving core. I mean, motion, so you can have matchups. And I believe if you looked at the preseason, we had a lot of motion. They had a lot of favorable matchups for the offense. So I think that right there is going to separate us from a lot. Can you imagine A.J. Brown going to the slot, or Devontae going to the slot, matching up with a linebacker or a safety? Like, this is going to be epic. Then they got to worry about Saquon coming out the backfield, on the screen, on the running back screen. Like, this is going to be epic.
Epic. All right. Yeah, I agree. Kellen Moore is going to give us a completely new look offense. The thing about it is the Eagles won't be the same old Eagles as last year that you could prepare for based off of last year's film. There will be none of that. It's going to be a completely different offense. You better hope you can go through some Cowboy stuff and go through some Charger stuff to find something that allow you to be prepared for what Kellen Moore is going to do. But in my opinion, this will be the best group of skilled players he's worked with. Probably since, well, Chargers in Dallas had some skilled players, but I don't know if you had guys, man, like Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, and A.J. Brown, and Saquon Barkley, bro. In this offensive line, yeah, I don't see it. The Dallas Cowboys under Kellen Moore, with them punk ass receivers they had, actually had the best numbers in the league, as far as yards and touchdowns and all of that kind of stuff. So just imagine you put in with some real dogs like they got here in Philadelphia. It ain't no old ass Ezekiel Elliott, who done fell off with little ass Tony Pollard. No, we talking about Saquon Barkley. That's what we're talking about right now. So it's going to be a completely different situation. And like you said, you throw Devontae in the slot, you throw AJ in the slot. You have these guys doing trips formations and all types of like shifting and motion and some creative stuff like that, bro. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. Like, and then, well, my one concern, and are you concerned about this? Kellen Moore has a tendency sometimes to get away from the running game, especially in good what you'll call situational football, like 2nd and 2, going empty backfield and trying to pass instead of just handing it off to the running back and stuff like that. What do you think of that?
Hopefully, when the Eagles get a large lead, he do the smart thing and run the ball. Hopefully he does that. Hopefully he don't just be throwing the ball you up by 30 and you just keep throwing. I don't think most people will do that. So I think he's going to run once he get a lead, and I think we're going to be having a lot of leads this year. So I think he's going to run the ball once we get the lead.
What I say is that will piss me off if he does dumb things. But listen, I lived through Andy Reid, 14 years. I know right now people think Andy Reid is the shit. He's the man. But Andy Reid did a lot of dumb shit when he was here with the Eagles. We saw situations where John Runyon, was yelling at him, to run the damn ball. Like he wouldn't say it directly to him. He just walked past him, run the damn ball, be on the sideline just yelling. We've seen Deuce Staley doing similar things. So look, we've seen it. I just don't see Kellen Moore being worse than Andy Reid. Andy Reid is a dude that does not want to run. So then also,
well, if you listen to Shango, he would run the ball at the worst time, like 3rd and 1. He would throw the ball on that down. You feel what I'm saying? And Dak couldn't get it done.
See, the thing about that, people notice those things when it don't work. I'm sure there were many downs where he did it and it worked. You know what I mean? That'd be the thing about that. And then, like, there are years, if you look at Kellen Moore's career as a coach, that he did run a lot. I've looked at some of his years. He ran upwards to 50% of 48% of the time, stuff like that. He has that on his record. Then he has years we ran less. But, I mean, I don't know. So he has it in him to possibly run. Maybe if he feel like the running game is that dominant, maybe he will. I don't know. We'll see. But that's one thing about us. Oh, we'll hold his ass accountable. If you're having a game at home at the link and you need to run the ball and you keep passing, we're a little different from Dallas. Like that whole crowd will be in your ass. Pat, run the ball. You're going to hear them on the radio all week, run the ball. You're going to hear me saying, run the ball. You're going to hear other Eagles content creators talking about run the ball. So Kellen Moore, you want to understand, it's a little different from Dallas, a little different from San Diego. If you start getting stupid and acting like you ain't gonna run that damn ball, you're definitely gonna hear about it. That's for sure. All right, on to the next thing, man. I want to talk about the NFC East, bro. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the NFC East. What you think is going to look like this year in the NFC East? First, I want to start with the Washington Commanders. What do you think they're going to look like?
I think Washington's going to surprise a few people.
Yeah,
because I actually like their rookie quarterback. I think he's going to be better. I think he's not going to have a good season as far as winning loss record, but I think he's going to surprise a few people and win a few games that he shouldn't be winning. You know what I mean? I think that's what I mean when I say surprise. But I think they probably end up both in the division as far as win-loss record. But I think they're going to be hard to deal with by the end of the season. I think next year they might be better than they are this year as far as the quarterback-wise. Because he got weapons. He got better weapons than the Giants. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, the young rookie Jaden Daniels, I don't know. We'll see. Like with quarterbacks, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I wish them well, I guess. I mean, not really, but wish the young man well. Just don't be better than damn Eagles ever in your career. But I don't know. I expect them to finish fourth for sure. I don't think they're ready to make a move. They're in rebuild. They're building from the ground up, doing the right thing. Hopefully, they get him an offensive line so that way his career will last more than 3 or 4 years, at least last to a damn contract. If the Commanders do that, they seem like they're dedicated to building a defensive line. They get that. Uh, we'll see. All right. Anyway, on to the New York Ants or New York Giants. What do you say about them?
Well, seeing their quarterback Daniel Jones though 2 interceptions, one for pick six in the preseason, I think they're gonna be more the same, even worse without a running game that's going to take that heat off of the quarterback. And they do got Malik Neighbors, who's a good receiver, but I think they're not going to care about it. They're going to get to Daniel Jones. They're going to make him squeal because he's a squealer, and they're going to be the third best team in the East, in the NFC East. And I think after this season, they're going to realize he's not the quarterback for them, and they're going to be looking to move on. Hopefully, they don't have a worse season and get Colorado quarterback Deion Sanders' son to draft him. I don't need that in my life right now.
Um, I agree. The New York Giants will either be fourth in the division or third. Now, if Washington surprises everyone, like you're saying, they might end up actually being third, and the Giants end up fourth. The Giants probably love Daniel Jones, and this is because if you look at the history of the Giants, they love mediocre quarterbacks. They believe mediocrity at the quarterback position is okay. It's perfectly fine. Why? They've ever won with was mediocre quarterbacks. You go back to Eli Manning, who won his two lucky ass Super Bowls with teams that were like 7-9, 9-7, stuff like that. He was able to have Cinderella seasons going to the Super Bowl, mostly Tom Coughlin's genius and a great defensive line, and they were able to win their little lucky Super Bowls against Bill Belichick. And lo and behold, me, but Eli Manning is a mediocre quarterback. And then before then, when the Super Bowls they won with both Jeff Hostetler and Phil Simms were both mediocre quarterbacks. So I believe it's just part of their policy. They don't go after great quarterbacks because they never end up with one. They love the mediocrity of the quarterback position, which is something that blows my mind about the Giants. Now, if the Giants want to actually win with a mediocre quarterback, they're going to have to build an offensive line. I know they took a couple of guys from Alabama over the last couple of years. Some believe they're panning out. I doubt it. I don't know. Saquon Barkley's whole time there, the offensive line stunk. The offensive line will probably stink this year. I mean, we'll see, but that's just what I figure will be what the Giants do. Giants are going to giant, right at the end of the day. And they're not going to be a threat at all. I mean, I know they won that little last game last year. Most of their fans are talking a lot of shit. They thinking they did something. You know what I mean? But it's not going to mean anything. Order will be restored again this year. New York Giants will be swept by the Philadelphia Eagles. Maybe they can get one win over Dallas, though. That's possible. Which brings us next to the Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowgirls, as we know them around here in these parts, Philadelphia. What do you think Dallas is going to do?
I think Dallas going to be second behind us in the division.
Anything else? Because I got a lot to say about the Cowboys, but I'll let you go first. Okay. Um, well, okay, until you come back. I believe the Dallas Cowboys are have reached a state where the owner no longer believes in what he has in front of him. I believe Jerry Jones looks at those 53 men and he's like, I don't like none of you motherfuckers. I don't like none of y'all. I think all of y'all ain't shit. I think all of y'all trash. That's what I think Jerry Jones thinks. And I believe that he thought that the moment when he had Jerry's World all set up, the playoff game, we got the first seed, we got the second seed in the whole conference, and we got a young quarterback, his first year starting, Jordan Love coming in with the Green Bay Packers, a team that the Cowboys and the Packers have long history, go back to the Ice Bowl with. The stage was set for Dak Prescott to finally win a second playoff game. And this time, he couldn't get past the first playoff game. And Jordan Love came in there sliced their vaunted defense apart. 9 Pro Bowlers. Dallas got their ass whipped. Like, by the Packers at home. Oh. So I think Jerry, like, this is 8 years with Dak Prescott. And yeah, it's cool you getting your little numbers in the preseason. It's cool you beat up on the Cardinals. Man, damn, they lost to the Cardinals this year. But you beat up on the Redskins. You beat up on the Giants. And I say the Redskins on purpose. You beat up on the Giants. You beat up on the Carolina Panthers. You put up 50 points. That's the type of team Dallas is. Let's put up 60 points, 50 points. Let's just do that, run the scores up. So every year, all year, they think we're going to win. Right? Dallas going Dallas. But then when it really counts, when it gets really real, when the chips is on the line, without Jimmy Johnson, the Cowboys ain't shit. As I've said many times. Without Jimmy Johnson, the Cowboys ain't shit. And this has been proven over the last, we're going on 29 years now. You know, in 29 years, man, if you start your career, do you know that like a person that started their career when Jimmy Johnson left is ready to retire right now, like with a pension? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, all right, if you started your career when Jimmy Johnson left the Cowboys, right? You ready to retire with a pension and a full 401k right now. That's how long it's been since the Dallas Cowboys won 2 playoff games in a row. That's what we're talking about. Jerry Jones.
I'm gonna tell you when Jerry Jones lost his patience with Dak and the Cowboys. When the Eagles made their second Super Bowl appearance in a 5-year stretch, he said, "Oh no, this is we got to give." And Dak keep losing in the first round. So I think he said, "I'm gonna give." They're gonna hang themselves, even if he got to rebuild to get another quarterback. He's not going to tolerate mediocrity anymore.
He doesn't believe
from the
in that.
coach or the quarterback.
He doesn't believe in that. Now, what gets me is people everywhere saying he needs to pay Dak. Dak deserves the money. Why does Dak deserve the money? Like, he's supposed to just keep paying for a dude that's not going to deliver. Like, I'm kind of with Jerry with this one. Like, I wouldn't pay him.
But Dak have earned the money, though. In reality, he have earned the money.
How?
You don't get paid to win Super Bowls because it's very hard to win Super Bowls. You get paid to perform, and he has been performing.
You get paid to win Super Bowls, even though you might not, but you do.
Because if that's the case, a lot of people wouldn't be getting paid in the NFL. But so Dak have earned the money that
they
got. You can't say he haven't earned it.
They believe that their quarterback is going to get the Super Bowl. That's why they pay him. Like, if not, what are you doing? Shit, just pay somebody else. I don't think I'm going to get the Super Bowl. Shit, you just pay me. I can go out there and lose, and I can make the Super Bowl. Shit. You know what I mean?
Well, you believe that he can give you an opportunity to win a Super Bowl. Put it like that.
Yeah. And I don't think he believes that anymore. So why would I pay him?
But Dak is not the reason 100%. The defense got destroyed by Green Bay last year. That isn't all on Dak.
Okay, so what happened the year before that?
San Francisco did the same thing to their defense. That isn't all on Dak.
No, it didn't. It was like 19-16. Dak, remember he had the ball.
And sometimes you got to pull out.
Remember he had the ball during the last drive, and then he fucked up. Don't remember the rule. Oh shit! I got to punt. I got to hike the ball. Spike that dumb shit. We run out of time. Oh shit!
No, Dak haven't been clutch in the playoffs. That's true. But that's not always going to be the case, though. Like, eventually, he's going to win.
All right, so
yeah, I'm saying
eventually he's going to win what?
He's going to win. He's going to win something. He's going to win a game
in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to win a game. Like, they said the same thing about Peyton Manning, but eventually he won. Like,
Peyton Manning.
Yeah. Remember, he was losing to New England his first couple of years. Like, he wasn't getting it done.
Was it 8 years?
He lost to Miami in the first round. Peyton Manning was the choker in the playoff his first couple of years. Like he really was.
Was it 8 years?
I'm not sure how many years.
I
It might have been his first 6 years. He haven't done anything.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think
Might
so.
have been his first. But my point is, Dak have earned his money. You got to pay the man. And if I was Dak, if you don't, I wouldn't even play this season. I would walk. I would ask for a trade. There's no way I'm gonna be out there on my last. And if I get hurt, I'm done.
So why don't they ask for a trade then?
He like playing for the star, probably.
Okay, well then everything's everything now.
Because I think if he asks for a trade, he definitely go to a good team and make him a good team.
You believe
He's a good
that?
quarterback.
You believe that just going to teams making them better?
Yeah, let's say Dak go to the Giants. I think the Giants would be better if they had Dak instead of Daniel Jones.
Why?
He's a better quarterback.
Did you see Dak when he ain't have talent around him?
But that's when he was young, though. That's when they had. That's when he first got into the league. But he's a way better quarterback now than he was then.
Okay, so now Dak would just elevate teams with trash around him.
He's not going to the Super Bowl, but he'd be better. He'd be better than the Giants got what they got now. Put it like that.
All right. See, I'm not sure. I think Dak and Kirk Cousins and Daniel Jones about the same.
Kirk Cousins and Daniel Jones are not on the same level.
I think so.
Kirk Cousins at least get you to the championship. He ain't put up numbers. Daniel Jones ain't doing either one of the two.
I think Kirk Cousins without an offensive line would just get wrecked. I've seen situations.
Well, he's with Atlanta now, so we're going to see what he do with Atlanta. Yeah,
he gonna put a bunch of numbers, not do shit. He gonna lose first, second round.
He got running back. He got receivers. He got what it takes.
He gonna lose on Monday Night Football. Same, Kirk Cousins shit.
No, man. Daniel Jones is not on the same level as Kirk Cousins. I'm sorry, that's not even a comparison for me.
I don't see the difference. I actually think Daniel Jones is more athletic, and that's it.
One put up numbers and the other one don't. That's the difference.
I don't care about that. And the same thing with Dak.
The numbers matter, though. That's the thing. You can't take away the numbers.
I've seen people win with 150 yards passing.
Yeah, but it's not like that's all they can do. Maybe they did other things that game. Maybe it was a tough game. Like maybe you're playing the 2001 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so 150 yards and winning that game is superb. As to you can't throw, you just missing all types of throws. So it depends.
But this dude always in the same situation. You just keep losing. They just keep happening. Whether it's 150 yards, whether it's 300 yards, you keep losing. All these dudes, Dak, Kurt, all these motherfuckers, they just lose the dudes.
Well, that's the majority of quarterbacks, though. That's just
I don't care.
It's hard to win the Super Bowl.
But I'm saying Dak and they in that category. That's what I'm saying. I think Jerry has no reason to believe Dak is going to win anything. But anyway, so Dallas Cowboys, you believe they will be second in the division. I believe they'll be anywhere from second to third or fourth, depending on how much Jerry don't give a shit.
I think this is going to be the first year in a very long time that we actually sweep the Cowboys.
I can see that. I don't know why it doesn't happen enough, but I can see that.
Well, when the 2022, you remember Hurts didn't play that game. I think if he would have played, we would have swept the Cowboys. Then we had Mark Sanchez, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's all you need to say.
All right, so we got my man William Galbraith says we should be better on defense. I agree. I absolutely agree. William also says that Fangio is a much better coordinator than Gannon or Desai. Yeah, no doubt. Gannon and Desai are disciples of Fangio. Hopefully, Fangio doesn't look the way they looked, and I don't think so. I know Fangio from back in Denver, and he had one of the best defenses in the league, and I know that many of his schemes and many of his ideas are ideas that others, copy and mimic. So Vic Fangio, the thing I like about him is he's an innovator. He's a guy that created something that others emulate. So that's always a plus to have one of those guys. The last guy we had like that was Buddy Ryan. And even Jim Johnson. Jim Johnson was a guy that actually made up a defense that others followed, The Jim Johnson, of course, had guys like Spagnola, who follow his way. Sean, the coach down in McDermott, who's down in Buffalo, followed disciple of Jim Johnson. The boarding page, my man, he says football season is near. Yes, sirree, Bob. We're talking about Friday night. What is the first game? Is it Thursday night or is our game the first game of the season?
Thursday night.
Who's that? The Chiefs
In
and
Baltimore.
Chiefs and Baltimore. Ooh, that's gonna be crazy. Chiefs and Baltimore. Then Eagles, Packers. That's gonna be crazy.
I'm actually trying to decide if I want to make my own hoagie for the game or if I'm going to order one.
Gotta make your own, bro. Gotta make your own hoagie. Matter of fact, I gotta go down to the market, grab some of that. The rolls we get, man. What's wrong with me?
Amoroso rolls.
Amorosos. I grab me some fresh Amorosos. I want to be able to smell the bakiness of them. I gotta grab, man, some
The only ones I see is the little 6-inch Johns from Fresh Grocer.
you can get them joints at the fresh grocer at the market over in the little baskets. They be having the big ones.
Oh yeah. Oh, you got to pick them and put them in the. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Okay.
Over there, but you got to catch them when they come that day. Them Amarosos, and then go over there and get some of that Cooper Sharp American cheese, or grab some American cheese. Gotta need some the turkey, the halal turkey, and then I need some of that halal corned beef. I like a corned beef turkey hoagie. Yeah, still some little lettuce.
You use mayo on your hoagie. You put mayo on your hoagie.
Mayo
Canola oil or what?
You gotta mix mayo and mustard, and you gotta put a little bit of the olive oil with the oregano up in it. Come on, man. Come on, you get that original South Philly hoagie taste to it. These dudes don't know. These dudes from these other cities, they don't understand, man, what's going down over here, man. They don't get it.
Well, I don't eat bread like that, so I'll probably get some pita rolls, some wheat pita rolls.
Yeah, I'm eating me bread once a week. I do it once a week. Football day, you know what I'm saying? A high day. Hungry Dog Sports, yes, football season is near. So you got us 35-20 over Green Bay. That's what you got?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know about that, homie, but I think we win. But I'm gonna have my score. I'm gonna save my score for y'all on Tuesdays. Probably on Wednesday. I'm gonna let y'all know my pick.
I know funny things happen on week 1, but I'm hoping that it goes smooth this week. And we show what we can do.
Oh, Cowboys still stink. Yeah, you're right. I thought he was about to say Cowboys up or something like that. I wish I did get a Cowboy friend in here. Alfredo, my man, says, I've been watching mic'd ups like crazy. Oh, waiting and watching the mic'd ups. Yeah, the mic'd ups are nice. Yeah, I like those too. Waiting until Friday, but at least I can watch the Chiefs and Baltimore game to hold me over till Friday. Facts. You mean hold you over till Sunday? Yeah. Because, Eagles, I got you till Friday. Yeah. You can watch Baltimore and the Chiefs. They play Friday. They play Thursday. We play Friday. Exactly.
Who you want to beat that Baltimore Chiefs game? What you think is like? What are you rooting for that game?
I ain't got no rooting interest in that damn game. But
I need the Chiefs to lose as many games as possible.
Who I think will win is the Chiefs, but I ain't got no damn. I ain't got no picks.
I do. I need the Chiefs to. I do not want the Chiefs to make it to the playoffs. That's better for me.
Man, I want to whoop the Chiefs' ass in the Super Bowl.
No, I will stay away from. They like Brady, like kryptonite, and I stay away from them as many as possible.
I don't care about none of that. We owe them one. I want to whoop their ass in the Super Bowl.
I don't want no parts of Mahomes, man. I really I don't want to
whoop their ass, bro. Sports media, what's good, my brother? We got it. Yeah. I'm with that linking up, man. Just drop your information or whatever. Send me send me the info. Frado says, yeah, because the Chiefs okay this Thursday and us for Yep. It's the Chiefs Thursday, then us Friday, man. Chiefs Thursday, us Friday. Yeah, I can't wait to see them, man. But like I said to all of y'all, man, we're gonna do this weekly. We're gonna have a pregame. And then after the games, Eagles games in particular, We going live. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna discuss this. We drop the link, let y'all on it, and y'all got something to say. You know what I mean? It's gonna be open mic like that. My man from Solo and from Mad Dog Sports, Hungry Dog Sports. I'm sorry. Y'all should go over to his channel, man. Subscribe. He's out there dropping that Eagles content. You know, we will be dropping Eagles content here along with other things. You know what I'm saying? So, um, that's just what it is, man.
So we're gonna go live again after the game Friday night or that Saturday.
No, not Friday. Immediately, man. You can't be waiting on the damn next day. People want that content immediately. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes.
That's the way that works. So we just want to be up. I'm just going to be tired for work the next day or whatever. Matter of fact, it's third Friday, so yeah, I ain't got to work the next. Yeah, I ain't got to work the next day. So yeah, that's perfect. We're gonna go live immediately after the game. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I'm debating over whether or not I'm going to go live during the games. It's just the only thing when you go live during the games, you got to cut the sound down on the game. I like to hear the game, so that's my only issue with that. But you know, we see how that go, man.
I'll get some earphones to listen to WIP with Merrill Reese.
I don't want to hear them niggas, man. But I guess it's an option. You know, I think about it. Think about how we gonna do it, man. So you got anything, man, to say before closing out?
Yeah, this is excellent, man. This is good. This is a way where we can really, build this show up. I think this is going to be the start of something nice,
Oh,
something
this
fresh.
gonna be the best Eagles show that you got, man. You got these other dudes out here. I support everybody's show. This about to be it though, man. You know what I mean? Y'all gonna see once the season starts. Don't even worry about that.
Yeah, facts.
All right, so thanks everybody for coming out, man. Appreciate the support and all of that. One too many this time, but we're gonna build it up slowly. I know how it works, man. So, with that, man, peace. About to sign out.